Hello, this is Roxana for Avidiva, and today is day number 56 of the 100-day challenge, and we are going to talk about Self-Care Tuesday. And in today's Self-Care Tuesday, and if you see something in the background, that would be my dog. Then today's Self-Care Tuesday, we are going to talk about procrastination. And this is the thing. As you all know, I had a family member die. My dad died in January, and then I have a family member battling Alzheimer's. And the thing about it is that when you take care of people, they usually have a lot of stuff. And I don't mean just the physical stuff, although that is an issue. I am talking about stuff that has to be handled. Somebody has to be declared a tutor. Somebody, you have to have power of attorney to be able to do certain things, like when you go to the hospital and whatever, and they have to have a power of attorney in order to give you information. If they have property, if they have an insurance, there's a lot of stuff that has to be done. When you add to that the fact that because I am no longer employed, there's other stuff like 401ks and things to deal with. There's a lot of stuff to get done. There's a lot of people that you need to help you. And at the end of the day, you can leave it for later or you can do it now. And why do I say that? I have been dealing with, to give you an example, we're trying to sell something back home that used to be owned by my dad. And I contacted a lawyer about 2 months ago, and I know that process takes 2 to 3 months. And I'm glad that I called as soon, basically, as my dad died, because if not, if I would have called now, then I would have to wait 2 or 3 months. You see what I'm saying? It's one of those things where the sooner you take care of stuff, the sooner you can get it out of the way. Now, you might not be able to get stuff done from one day to another, and that is the perfect example. I thought it was just a matter of calling her, contacting her, sending all the information, and we're done. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works, and she has to do some research and some stuff, and that takes 2 to 3 months. But at least you did the initial transaction, and then the rest of it can go on and take care of itself, basically. Or whoever is in charge of that can take care of that for you. The same with life insurance. If the person left the life insurance policy, you need to call them immediately and take care of it. And the reason why I'm telling you adding that to Self-Care Tuesday is because if you're the caretaker and you're also the tutor, or you have power of attorney over that person, all that stuff is going to fall on you. And in order for you to not get in trouble with the law and not get in trouble with the family or whatever, it's better if you do it sooner rather than later. Now, some of the stuff that had to be done, we did it immediately. Some of these other stuff, I've gotten sick. My family member got sick. We've had several hospital visits since my dad died. There's been a lot of stuff going on. And what happens is you leave it for tomorrow thinking you're going to be available tomorrow, and then something happens and tomorrow's not going to happen either. What ends up happening is that you get stressed out of your mind because 3 months later you have half of the stuff done and the other half is not done. Now, there is no timetable to when you want to do these things, but the sooner you have them done, the better. So what I would suggest to you is get it done now. Now, I gave myself a goal because my father left a gazillion pieces of paper that we have to go through. And unlike Puerto Rico, here in the United States, when somebody dies, the Social Security office gets notified immediately, and they automatically restrict that the Social Security number. So I could technically just throw my dad's stuff out, and it would not affect his credit or anything like that, because nobody can use that Social Security. Unfortunately, most of his stuff had my mom had signed with him, and she's still alive. I don't want to ruin her credit, and I don't want to ruin her or expose her history to be taken advantage of. So technically, I have to go through every single piece of paper in order to figure out what's what, and then throw out what we need to throw out, put whatever we need to put away, etc. So that's going to take me a while. I've done I think in the last 3 months I've been able to go through maybe 3 boxes because he piled them. I don't know if you've ever seen those milk crates that serve as file holders. He had 6 of those packed with paper. Then he had the moving boxes. They come in the regular size, and then there's one that's like half your body size. He had 3 of those filled with paper, and he brought 2 file cabinets. All that stuff is full of papers, not counting that every time I open a piece, we've opened maybe 15 boxes, and every other box we end up finding yet another stack of papers. So there's a lot of papers to go through. Needless to say, I told my daughter that when I die, she's not going to have the same problem, because I'm making sure that everything is in some cloud somewhere, because I'm not doing this to my daughter. And I know he didn't do it on purpose. It's just the way it worked out. He thought he was going to have time to go through all that. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But what I'm telling you, I'm giving you 2 pieces of advice in this video. Number 1, take care of, I know that sometimes if it happens like it happened to me, that my father died and then this person ended up being diagnosed. I know you're in mourning. In my case, I'm in mourning for both of them, because even though my family member is still alive, it's not the same person that I knew. It's a completely different person. I love the person that I'm taking care of, but it's not the same person. And you do go through a mourning process. Plus, you add to that the mourning process for my dad. And of course, I don't have a job, so there's 3 mournings that I'm going through. And if you let it get to you, you will do nothing at all any day of the week, because you will be completely stuck in neutral, because there's so much going on. However, you have to push forward little by little as best as you can. And trust me, taking care of these things that you have to take care of as soon as possible, because once you take care of your part, it's somebody else's issue. And yeah, you have to follow up and whatnot, but it's not the same as having to do everything all over again. So number 1 piece of advice is make sure that you do as much as you can as quickly as you can, so you don't have to deal with it later. The second piece of advice I'm going to give you is have all your ducks on a row, and try to have as little paper as possible and as little things as possible, so that when your loved ones have to take care of your stuff, they don't look at you like, what just happened? I happen to like books. I have tons of books, and my daughter's always told me that don't worry about the books. So I'm not worried about the books. I'm worried about everything else. But I am making sure that in the next 3 years, I pay off all my bills, so that I make sure that when it's her turn to deal with all this stuff, she doesn't have to worry about a thing, because everything's taken care of. So, do you have any other pieces of advice for people that are procrastinating when they have to get stuff done? If you have anything to say, just leave it on the comment section below. And thank you so much for watching.